Intel
Crazy.
rebukes motherboard makers over fixes for Intel's unstable CPUs. We've also got some Arrow Lake leaks and AMD stealing CPU market share. I just didn't say steal, they earned it. But anyway, that's my headline here. After Intel didn't publicly take action concerning recent widespread reports of 14th gen processors causing game crashes and blue screens of death, on around April 20th, ASUS released a BIOS update with an Intel baseline profile which turned down various performance boosting settings. This week, Intel spoke up to tell users not to use such profiles from motherboard makers. Instead, Intel wants you to use the Intel default settings profile instead, as it involves a combination of thermal and power delivery features with a selection of possible power delivery profiles based on the specific motherboard's capabilities. Broadly, the motherboard makers' profiles did seem to help with the stability issues, but it came at a performance cost. Intel's guidance seems to be geared towards allowing users to regain some of that lost performance. Intel is now demanding that by May 31st, motherboard makers release BIOS updates with Intel's default settings profile as the default. I can't believe this has taken this long to come to a head.
But aren't they also saying that doesn't fix it?
Because the performance, what is it? Multi-core enhancement, default thing controversy or like conflict between Intel and motherboard manufacturers has been going back for like the better part of a decade at this point. And it was bound to happen at some point that some kind of performance boosting profile of some sort was going to cause instability, because it has always been overclocking to run anything but Intel's default behavior for the CPU. And I can't believe that it took this long. It took Intel ending up with egg on their face over the instability of the not Intel default profile for them to finally say, look, you actually can't do this anymore. And I'm willing to bet that this lasts one generation, and then immediately, in order for motherboard manufacturers to try to differentiate their product from each other, they're going to go back to putting whatever the most aggressive profile they can probably get away with on the majority of CPUs is, and we're going to be back to this whole song and dance until this happens again. Like, there's just absolutely no way that it's not going to just keep happening.
Oh yeah.
And to be clear, I don't even really blame the motherboard manufacturers here. Obviously, they're gonna push the limits of whatever Intel will allow them to do, and they're gonna try and differentiate their product. I lean toward blaming Intel.
That's the game they play.
Yeah.
If they want to be competitive, they have to do that.
Yeah.
They're not setting the rules.
I mean, look, like
it is what it is.
If Intel wanted motherboard manufacturers to differentiate their products, they didn't have to consolidate every single function onto the CPU and onto the chipset. They might have not tried to take all the margin for themselves in the motherboard. I mean, that was an option. To be clear, there were performance advantages to some of those moves, like moving the integrated memory controller onto the CPU to simplify the motherboard and make it more performant, but it's been a trend from Intel for a very long time to squeeze motherboard manufacturers, and it's become harder and harder for them to differentiate. And so
they're going to do what they got to do.
They got to do what they got to do. And if Intel doesn't like it, well, then they're going to have to lay down the law. And if they haven't laid down the law, then this is going to happen. This is you around and find out. It's that simple. One can only hope that Intel's upcoming Arrow Lake desktop CPUs won't suffer the same issues, on top of having no hyperthreading and allegedly terrible names. This is pretty funny. Yeah, here we go. Next gen desktop CPUs have reportedly leaked. Arrow Lake Core Ultra 200 series, same core counts as Raptor Lake Refresh, but fewer threads. Okay, hold on. Where's my branding? Here we go. So, sure. I don't know. Why not just,
why Ultra?
Why not just can we just have, I don't know, like a 9? Could we just have some continuity here? Why do we go from 9 to 8? From 0, 0 to 5? 14 to 2, I understand, because this is the generation.
Yeah,
like the
sure.
Processor generation.
Yeah.
But why did we move everything down 1 or maybe 2. So a 600 class product becomes a 4 class product, or I can't even begin to follow along with this. AMD had a new naming scheme, allegedly maybe leak on ASUS's site that looked just as bad as Intel's, if not worse, because they shoehorned AI into all the processor names. So it was like Ryzen 9 AI, and then they switched to a 3-letter or a 3-digit numbering scheme as well, and it was utterly indecipherable. I couldn't even. That has not been confirmed to be real.
We should do product naming consultation.
I'd be happy to. They wouldn't want our advice though.
You just call it CPU.
We'd be no, I wouldn't.
That would be also stupid.
Yes, we'd be advising them on how to make it
This is CPU 1. We also sell CPU 2 and 3. Sorry, keep going.
Stubby CPU?
Okay, our naming is bad too, for very different reasons.
Okay, maybe don't do naming consultation with us.
I think we could do better than them.
Yeah,
I think anybody could, yeah.
In fairness to me, I wasn't involved in a lot of those names.
We're always just way too literal.
We are pretty literal. Backpack. I mean, we're not wrong. It's a backpack.
Screwdriver.
It is a screwdriver.
It doesn't even call itself ratcheting screwdriver, just screwdriver.
Well, it's a screwdriver.
It's you know what you're getting.
You do.
Yeah. It's better.
Yeah.
I just don't know how much it leans on marketing.
I mean, look, we've had some more fun stuff lately. Okay, there's the Phase zip-up hoodie.
Phase, I like Phase.
Okay. Okay, that's pretty literal.
Zip-up magnet.
Okay, we've got
100% cotton t-shirt.
Okay, the Steve turtleneck. Okay, this is actually a pretty solid mover.
That's fairly marketing. Yeah, good.
The
onesie.
Steve. Okay.
Merino t-shirt.
Okay, stop looking at those names.
Fleece lined. Fan.
Okay,
t-shirt.
WAG hoodie is pretty good. I named that one.
That one's good. That is good.
I named that one. The Uncle Linus hoodie.
Okay, but that was from a video.
Was a joke.
I don't know if that's fair.
That was literally actually a joke. This is not going to be better.
I didn't mean to start this. I'm
Lounge
sorry.
pants are all right.
I added pro to this, I think. No, I added premium to this one. That was my contribution to the name of that. Okay, these are...
So are the premium sports joggers better than the track joggers? Because the track joggers aren't premium?
The Dropout has a really cool name. Doesn't sell at all, but people love it.
I wish people... The Dropout sweater is like one of the comfiest sweaters I think I've ever had. And people don't know that.
Yeah.
Because they can't try it.
I know. Retail is a heck of a thing. Like buying clothes at retail, I get it.
Yeah.
It's tough to buy them online because you're
I
basically
feel the same way. You're buying it blindly.
Yeah,
I get it. I wish people had the opportunity to try it because it's very much like a comfy, like nice, a little bit more hefty sweater. It's nice. It's good. I enjoy it. And I don't like pullovers, but I like that sweater.
AMD has hit a record high in x86 desktop and server market share, which is good because apparently their GPU gaming business and custom
not cooking
business is not going so good. But this looks incredible. In servers, their revenue share is 33%. And that's on a unit share of only 23.6. So that means that they are killing Intel at the high end for server. Like crushing them. That's crazy.
Not even close, right?
Yeah,
where is this topic?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just
oh, you're just looking at stuff?
Yeah,
cool.
I'm looking at this right here. Look at it go. Woo!
Wow.
Number go burr. Yeah, things a little less hot on the desktop side. I
love how them but this is server market share, so it's not just AMD and Intel, yeah?
No, this is x86.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, x86.
So I love how them killing it is still being a third of the market.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you gotta...
Compared to some historical record, that is crazy.
And you gotta remember too, like, only part of the decision of which CPU to procure is which one is better. A huge part of it is long-term contracts. A huge part of it is production capacity. Like as an end user, okay, you would look at the marketing for someone like a a mouse pad factory in China, which they have marketing, you'd look at the marketing and go, well, that's stupid, because it'll be full of things like what their production capacity is on a monthly basis. And you're sitting there going, well, yeah, but like, are they good? Do you make anything good? Depending on the buyer, that may not be their top priority, because they just need mouse pads. And the factory that they're working with may simply not have enough capacity of mouse pads. And so at a certain point, like AMD can only buy so much of TSMC's finite capacity. And at a certain point, supply and demand. If everyone tries to buy it, it will drive up the price to the point where, oh, well, hey, Intel's product's not looking that bad anymore. Intel, meanwhile, has their own production capacity. So they effectively get to sell every chip that AMD can't make. And it will be that way for the foreseeable future. That is until AMD can get more production capacity from Intel's foundry business.
That'll be an interesting day.
We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Ever since I talked about how I like Intel's long-term plan, their stock has dropped considerably. I still like their long-term plan, but I made it very clear at that time. None of this is investment advice. I made it very clear at that time that it was a long-term play that I liked. Long-term play. Fox in a Box says, oh yeah, so forget contracts and availability. What about just comfort? People buy based on brands all the time. Yeah. That was an LMG clip that went up actually shortly before the WAN show today from last week, where I talked about not being fans, but man, people buy what they're comfortable with.
And you're fans at different levels.
And Fox in a Box says, at my company, we buy more Intel servers because we have Intel servers and we don't have issues, so we will buy more of them.
Which, honestly, in a lot of situations, is a mostly good enough reason.
When it comes to technology and how fast moving it is,
maybe less so. But when you're dealing with like trying to convince people that are doing purchasing decisions for a huge range of things, and that just happens to be one part of it, yeah, I don't know.